You won't believe what happened when Karen started using my shed to charge her golf cart, without even asking. At first, I didn't think much of it. I mean, it's just a golf cart charger, right? But then, day after day, she kept plugging in like it was her own personal power station. I tried talking to her, but she brushed me off like it was no big deal. I was getting frustrated because it wasn't just about electricity. It felt like a boundary was being crossed. My shed is my space, my rules. So, I had to come up with a plan. Something that would stop her from sneaking in and charging her cart whenever she felt like it. That's when I decided to hook the charger up to a bull fence instead. Yeah, you heard that right. A bull fence. It wasn't just about blocking access. It was about sending a message. But what happened next? Did Karen notice? Did she try to get around it? And how did the neighbors react to this weird new setup? On my end, I felt stuck between wanting to keep peace and needing to protect my property. The whole situation made me question how well I really knew my neighbors. The tension kept growing, and I couldn't help but wonder if this was about to blow up into something much bigger. What would Karen do next? And how far would I have to go to make sure my shed and my boundaries were respected? The story's far from over. Days went by, and the tension between Karen and me only grew thicker. Every time I stepped outside, I felt like I was walking into a silent war zone. I noticed her driving her golf cart slowly past my place, like she was testing the waters, trying to see if the bull fence was still blocking her access. The whole neighborhood seemed to be watching too, whispering behind closed doors. It felt like this wasn't just about a charger anymore. It was about pride, respect, and maybe even old grudges I never knew existed. One evening, I caught her standing near the fence again, but this time she wasn't just looking, she was touching it, fiddling with the wires. My heart raced. Was she trying to disconnect the charger? Was she planning something to get back at me? I wanted to confront her but hesitated, knowing things could spiral out of control fast. The peaceful neighborhood vibe we once had felt miles away. Stick around, because this isn't just a story about a golf cart charger. It's about respect, boundaries, and a whole lot of unexpected drama. Trust me, you don't want to miss what happens when Karen meets the bull fence. So, here's the backstory. Karen and I live just a few houses apart in this quiet neighborhood where everyone pretty much keeps to themselves. I've always been friendly, but I like my space, especially when it comes to my property. My shed isn't just a storage spot. It's where I keep tools, my golf gear, and yeah, the charger for my golf cart. It's something I maintain carefully because it's part of how I enjoy my free time. When Karen started using my charger without asking, it felt like she didn't respect that at all. At first, I thought maybe she just didn't realize it was my shed, or maybe she assumed it was a community charger. So I left a polite note asking her to stop. No response. Then the next day, I saw her plugging in again, acting like it was perfectly normal. That's when the frustration really kicked in. I tried talking face to face, but Karen just laughed it off and said it was no big deal. Honestly, it felt like she was taking advantage of my kindness, and that rubbed me the wrong way. That's why the idea of hooking the charger to a bull fence came up. It was something unconventional, something that would make it impossible for her to just sneak in and use it. But here's the thing, I didn't expect the reaction it would spark. Things started to get tense between us, and even the neighbors noticed. What happens next? Does Karen push back? Or does she finally get the message? The story's just getting started, and trust me, it's about to get way more complicated. After I hooked the charger to the bull fence, things started to get really interesting, and not in a good way. Karen noticed almost immediately. One afternoon, I saw her standing across the street, staring at the fence like she was trying to figure out some way around it. It felt like a standoff. I wasn't sure if she was angry, confused, or just surprised. The whole neighborhood started buzzing too. A few neighbors came over, asking what was going on, because the bull fence wasn't exactly something you see every day next to a shed. Meanwhile, Karen began acting even more distant, avoiding me when we crossed paths. But at the same time, I caught her sneaking glances at the shed, like she was plotting her next move. It was weird how a simple charger turned into this silent battle. I started to wonder, was this just about the golf cart, or was there something deeper? Maybe Karen felt entitled to use this space because of some old neighborhood agreement I didn't know about. The peaceful neighborhood vibe we once had felt miles away. At the same time, I started getting mysterious notes slipped under my door, no signatures, just warnings, and veiled threats about keeping out of other people's business. It was clear someone wasn't happy about the fence. Was it Karen, or was there more going on beneath the surface? My mind raced with questions, and I knew the next move would be critical. One wrong step, and this whole situation could explode beyond just a simple shed and a golf cart charger. The stakes were higher than I ever imagined. Would Karen push harder? Would I have to take things further? The next moments were about to change everything. Just when I thought things couldn't get any more complicated, a new twist hit me out of nowhere. One morning, I woke up to find that the power to my entire shed was cut off, completely dead. No lights, no charger, nothing. At first, I thought it was just a blown fuse or some random outage. But after checking everything, it was clear someone had tampered with the wiring. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just about Karen trying to use a charger anymore. Someone was trying to sabotage me. I started to notice other strange things too. Tools missing, footprints around the shed late at night, and even a strange vehicle parked near my house that no one in the neighborhood seemed to recognize. My peaceful little world was turning into a mystery thriller, and the worst part, I had no idea if Karen was behind it or if there was someone else involved, maybe someone who had been watching the whole situation unfold and decided to take advantage. The neighbors who once seemed curious now looked uneasy, avoiding eye contact like they knew something but didn't want to get involved. I felt completely isolated, trapped in a situation that was escalating way beyond a simple golf cart charger dispute. Every time I tried to figure out my next move, something else went wrong, and the tension kept rising. What was going on behind the scenes? Who was really pulling the strings? And most importantly, how far would I have to go to protect my property and my peace of mind? The story was about to reach a breaking point, and the answers weren't coming easy. I finally decided I couldn't sit back and wait for things to get worse. One evening, I stayed up late, watching my shed from the porch, determined to catch whoever was behind all this. Hours passed, and just when I was about to give up, I saw a shadow moving near the fence. My heart pounded as the figure approached the charger, tools in hand. It was Karen. But what happened next shocked me even more. She wasn't trying to steal power or sabotage. She was fixing a wiring I hadn't realized had been damaged by the bull fence setup. Turns out, Karen had her own reasons for charging the golf cart in my shed. Her own charger had broken, and she didn't want to bother anyone else. But after I rigged the bull fence, she felt like she had to get creative just to keep it running. She was trying to make things right without causing more trouble, and all the strange notes and rumors. They weren't from her, they were from someone else, someone using our conflict to stir up trouble and turn neighbors against each other. When I confronted her, the tension shifted. We talked for the first time in weeks, and it became clear we'd both been caught in a mess bigger than a golf cart charger. Just when I thought the storm was settling, a neighbor I barely knew knocked on my door, confessing they'd been behind the sabotage all along, hoping to create chaos and take advantage of the situation. The whole neighborhood's peaceful vibe was shaken, but at least now I knew the truth. And as for Karen and me, we still had a lot to sort out, but at least the real enemy was finally out in the open. After everything came to light, things between Karen and me slowly started to improve. We realized how much misunderstanding had fueled the whole situation. I apologized for not talking to her sooner, and she admitted she should have been more upfront about her charger problems. From that point on, we agreed to communicate better and respect each other's space. I even helped her set up a proper charging station on her own property so she wouldn't need to rely on my shed anymore. It felt good to finally put the tension behind us. The nagler who caused all the trouble ended up moving away after the community came together to confront them. It was a reminder of how important it is to stand up for what's right and not let outside drama tear a neighborhood apart. This whole experience taught me a lot about boundaries, respect, and how easy it is for small issues to snowball when people stop talking. In the end, the golf cart charger wasn't just about power, it was about trust and neighborliness. If you're ever dealing with a tricky situation like this, remember that open communication and patience can go a long way.